What's up, guys? Mikey in the building. It's been a while, I hope you guys been trading well. Hope things been going smooth. I pretty much took a couple weeks off from trading. Um, the family suffered a loss, so I had to be there for my wife and kids and kind of get through the emotion of all that, right? I think it's important to definitely do that. And if you can't focus when you're trading and you got a bunch of other factors that are taking place, I think it's important to take care of those things and not try to force trading, right? So, you know, with that being said, I did trade yesterday and today. While I was off, I did do some personal reviewing and self reflection. I had an amazing year. The tons of book map stuff. Um, Tons of the book, right? I had pretty much a year and a couple months now on this book, so I reflected off that, and this is such a great tool. Um, I can't even emphasize it enough, right? Applying it with dailies, applying it with level two. The best thing that I learned from the book was being able to hold and look for price targets, right? And with confidence, right? Trading my playbooks and learning how to trade them and how to hold and know when to scale and to see how liquidity is being shifted on the current order book, how liquidity follows price action, and then how it doesn't, right? So there is a link. I didn't really kind of promote a lot of what was going on, but there was a couple. The Black Friday deal's over. I think the Cyber Monday deal goes on for a little bit longer. Let me see real quick on that one. Let me see. So, yeah, there's another deal right now. The Cyber deal goes 60% off the first month of Global Plus, goes until December 12th, and then there's another one that'll be starting December 26th to January 2nd, but I'll go ahead and put a reminder out for that one. But that wasn't a big focus of mine to kind of do that. Here and there, I did post things on Twitter about it, and that's fine, right? Biggest thing that I did with my self-reflection was, and I talked to this with my Discord room, and unfortunately the voice didn't work on that video I posted, but I'm kind of recap what I kind of talked about. Um, I had such an amazing year because I focused on dailies that provided a good gap fill, stocks that had a lot of volume, stocks that had momentum, and dailies that I studied that would kind of break out, even though some of them didn't have a lot of volume. In particular, VRAR was one of the ones that I traded today and caught a nice 30% return. Right throughout the whole year, I studied how to size into something and look for 30 to 40%, 30 to 40%, right? And I even put a big emphasis on that into pennies, where I was able to size in drastically a lot more than slow floats and look for more size, more risk, more reward with that. But the focus was for gap fill, right? I want to see some type of gap fill. All right. I'm not going to really deep dive into a couple of the trades I did, but however, I'm going to kind of put an emphasis on daily gap fill, right? So I did trade VRR today, and this was a stock that was above the 200s, gapping up above the 200s, and I was looking more of a look left gap fill. All right. So that's what I'm really focused on, is to see how much of the daily gap we can actually fill based off which structures available and how it sets up, right? A big thing is weak opens, right? And I put an emphasis on that is because I don't want stocks that just go straight up. And if you're looking at my crosshairs on the daily, where I'm at right here on the one, I don't want stocks to go straight up and it fills that gap fill right away, right? So I like to see things pull back, soak, provide a weak open, and then go test previous structure, right? But the main thing is to see how much the gap can fill. All right. So that was a big thing. Monday, I had a great day. All right. I traded ASST. Right. This was a beaten down daily. I look for a gap fill. All right. I want to see what structure is available, that how it sets up after hours or into pre-market, and then how we open. All right. Monday was a great day because multiple stocks actually ran and kind of provided this kind of setup where it's a completely beaten down daily, and then I'm looking for that gap fill. Right. I keep saying this because when I reviewed my whole year and saw all my big winners and runners and dailies that I focus on, this was it. It was avoiding things that already are multi-day runners that could potentially pull back and chop, sell off, right? Things that are basically opening up right here and then filling the gap down here. All right, ASST, did a nice, again, nice little weak open. Now we're opening up. We're starting to soak down here. And if you see where I'm at on the daily, we're opening up the lower range now. So if this is going to get heavy and break down, I'm going to see it fairly quick. It's good RR, right? That was a big thing to really focus on. Another one was Duo ran, right? Duo is a previous runner. As soon as you're in this game for long enough, you're going to start realizing a lot of these names, we traded already, they reverse split, they sold off. Now they're going to start curling and giving backside opportunities. This is not a day one or day two move where it actually goes parabolic. All right, this went from penny land to multi-dollar land, amazing. And then now they're setting up and trading these backside opportunities to fill some of retest the gap, right, or retest it daily. Right now, trading names like this, again, this was a nice one. Another weak open opportunity right here, and this actually goes 48%. So 30 to 48%. And some days are going to be slow, and they're going to be 20 to maybe max 30, right? Learning how to size and focus on percent fills, and then taking your profits when you hit those goals. And sometimes we're going to have those black swan days or names that go parabolic. I wasn't here for VSIG, but VSIG was a name that, another name, right? Day one move after quite a big sell-off, so it's filling its gap, right? This is still backside, this is filling a big percent gap fill right here. It's filling some of the gap that it was selling off on. So that's a big focus, right? You trade that name, and the reason why I say, Black Swan Day or something is because now if you soak and hold this beautiful structure, it does not break down pre-market structure. This stock runs 180%. All right, that was amazing. I could only imagine, even with just decent size, and then looking at the book to see how we were trading and how liquidity was building up on this one, and holding for a bigger percent gap fill. All right. So very important to break down whatever we have, a little window gap. All right, and then we have this pretty much supply right here. So we start breaking through there and things don't break down, and there's liquidity following it, and I'll be able to use the book to see if liquidity is following it, and then take my profits, right? So that was a big self-reflection thing I did, was to really focus on that, right? UOKA was another one, right? Another backside daily, looking for a nice retest of this gap fill right here. And this is another one that provided a pretty decent return that day. All right, again, nice week open. To see this not break down and it's opening at the lower range is really nice. And then this is another 70% return, right? That is beautiful, especially this is cheaper, can size into that more. Monday was a great day for me. Today was a little bit lighter, which was fine. But I was focusing on ones that were all similar to these, right? Even though these dailies are different than ASST, VRAR, ICT. CT is another one penny ran. I did not catch this one. I actually caught the short. It's just crazy. They actually had some shares available on this one. All this did was repeat this day right here. On 11/1, this did like a midday run. This did another midday run today. This structure should be treated differently because now this is the volume that's coming into this. And to me, this is such low risk when you look at this daily, right? Super sideways, beaten down daily consolidation, right? And we start to break out above that. So now it's time to really go back and look at that 11-1 day, right? And go see the structure that takes place at 11-1 and see where all that volume was trapped and potentially, I always mark out VWAP, right? This would be a nice breakdown zone. So we need to really test VWAP, break out over this, and then potentially test the upper range of where it failed. You're going to see a lot of this. It's going to rinse and repeat itself. All right, that was a big thing that was learned this year, and the focus on that. And the reason why I say that is because when things rotate, they might provide a nice 20-30% rotation on names because, well, if you look at this thing gapped up 123%. This one obviously didn't rotate, right? But now, since this did gap up pretty high, it's rotating. It rotated today. So how high can we rotate and test this before it puts in another lower high? It's you got to treat the daily just how like you're treating intraday structure, and then I treat intraday structure how I'm trading the daily. All right, small caps dilute, they sell off, they have big liquidity days, and then they sell off again. Warrants get executed. People or companies holding shares, they finally get to this price and they start dumping, unloading, right? But it's just a vicious cycle of breaking out and then selling off and then doing backside rotations and so on, right? That's why I focus on looking for fresh days, lots of volume, and look for that gap fill. And then I pretty much stop trading it if I, right, on a name like this. All right, this did actually create a rotation, right? I don't like buying pullbacks pretty much right here. Maybe you can try, but this thing pulls back. So this thing gapped up right here, right? Gaps up 60%. It does a pullback where it pulls back about 30%, and then finally it gives you a rotation, a nice little 20% rotation, right? Cool. Understanding that, right? So basically, how I showed you on 11-1 day, we're looking for that same type of structure where it tries to rotate. This is where it broke down and failed. So, this is that zone that needs to get retested and break through, and then we can potentially test highs. So it's another rotation area to look for, right? Shorts, yeah, longs, cool. It doesn't matter, right? That's a good little concept right there. A little nice golden nugget. So that's where I'm at. Going into next year is pure focus. If names and pre-market, if I cannot catch a name and trade a name pre-market and watch LCTD, no, I forgot that name. Okay, BNZI. BNZI was a runner this morning. All right. All right. Good example. Let's pull this up. Right. If I can't catch the gap fill in the morning, right, and this opens up at the higher range right here, BNZI. Right. So of course this is a nice sell off into open, so we can get a nice rotation, but it still fails underneath this failed attempt right here, breaking out, right? But here, if you miss this soak and now you're trying to trade this, we're playing this at a higher range. I want to focus on things where I can potentially trade them from here first and then rotate them up, right? That was a big thing I learned with trying to hold and look for moves, okay? I don't want to look for a big move or something that could potentially be this high. And don't get me wrong, this could have broken out and went higher, and I'm like, dang, it is what it is. But I still want to focus on what I've been focused on the whole year. Okay, it's a big thing. This is a nice 25% return if you soak the bottom. If you didn't, you missed this and you bought pullbacks. On this one, you're looking at 17 to maybe 20, right? Still not bad. All right, if you understand uh, what you're trading and how we're trading on the daily, right? This is a super beaten down daily. Just did a nice little rotation for the day on that one. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get back in my routine and start cranking out again. I haven't been waking up super early. I have just started doing these 8 o'clock or 2000 preps to see what's going on, see how things closed, see what correlations I can come up with, and see how names are setting up daily wise for tomorrow morning. And I will get back into gear for sure with that. But that was a great self-reflection. I just wanted to kind of share a few things with you guys. Appreciate all the support from the room, social media spaces. Much love, everyone, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, Mikey.